She was 9 years old, and we had gone through months of her really having severe headaches. The neurologist we saw did not think anything was wrong because she was very, like, she does really well at school, she was really coordinated, she does sports, like, and usually I guess when they experience kids with brain tumors, there's some sort of deficiency in those areas. And then a couple days later, I had also had an eye appointment for her, thinking like maybe these headaches were coming from like her eyes being weak or something like that. And we went to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor's actually who discovered it. As soon as she looked into her eyes, she saw massive swelling behind her right eye. And she kind of went white and said, has she had an MRI? And we said no. She said, you need to get her and do an MRI immediately. She was always, like, all the teachers in any of our conferences would always be like, she is like an amazing student. She takes the lead. Very mature probably for her age, but still very much a kid, right? Like very much silly and, a kid as well. But yes, very mature. I guess, in hindsight, when you go through 6 years of treatment with a bunch of adults and doctors and nurses, I think you probably mature anyway a little bit. But she was so fond, like she loved school, but she loved her teachers. Like, we really have been fortunate to have amazing teachers between Rogers Park and even King Street and Mill Ridge, and then at the high school who've like been so supportive. Her Rogers Park graduation, they had a dance, and she harassed her surgeon like he needed to let her out of the hospital because she needed to make the graduation dance. We literally drove home directly from the hospital. She changed into her dress, threw on like ridiculous heels, and like headed right to the dance. Her father and I were a wreck. We waited in the parking lot. We're like, oh my God, she just had a major craniotomy surgery. She just went into this dance. But she was determined. I mean, she would push through, like her pain tolerance was high, and I think that she never wanted to miss out like on anything.
When, basketball, volleyball, and she wasn't up to her standards, and then, other kids didn't really realize this. And then a lot of times she would also push them and not say why, but, I just came back from a doctor's appointment.
She didn't want to let her teammates down. She just wanted to be a part of it. She had a great group of friends. Kids were always here. They, hang out in the hot tub or the pool or swim or play basketball or volleyball outside. So heart-wrenching watching her kind of slowly deteriorate in front of us. And then the thinking about like, what do we do to keep her story? Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do to keep her story alive? And so I started thinking about like what we would do in honor of Bella. And she was very much like someone who like was so kind. Like she would do random things to like pick you up or, even at school, like we would go to chemo treatments, and instead of worrying about herself, she'd see a bunch of younger kids who were kind of struggling for the first time going through chemo treatments, and she'd then start making them crafts or making them a poster, go over to play with them. So I thought like, okay, we're going to continue that, like by continuing random acts of kindness. When you see someone is struggling or someone is down, you do something, or just your empathy or your compassion shine through to want to do something for someone. So this is about recognizing children, adults, whoever it may be, who someone, impact the life of someone else, like change their day or change their outlook because of just some random act of kindness, and recognizing them in some way.